Hi, in this particular chapter, we'll talk about how you can create a new user in your default directory. Now, what a default directory is and its relationship with subscriptions, resource groups, and resources are something that we'd already discussed, and the link to that video I will give in the description below as well as on the screen. Now, what we need to do is we need to create a new user, and this user will be connected to a default directory. So let's see what happens when you do something like that. Okay, so currently I'm connected to my default user. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to our default Active Directory. So let's search for our Active Directory. And here you can click on your users. And what we need to do is we need to create a new user. So let's do that. So let's click on new user here. So let's just call this user as Chris. And this is the domain that Chris will have. So let's just give a name for Chris as well. Let's just call him Chris Green. And we also need to create a password. So what I'll do is I'll create my own password. And let's click on create. So we've created a user called Chris. So what we need to do now is we need to log in using Chris's credentials. So this is the username for Chris. So let's copy this and let's try to log in using Chris's ID. So let's again go to our panel here. And what I need to do is I need to log in using another account. So let's click on sign in with different account. And here let's add another user. So this would be Chris's password. And let's click on next. And here I need to update my password. And you can see that I'm currently logged in using Chris. Now the problem here is that Chris has got absolutely no access, neither to the default directory nor to the subscription. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll give Chris access to the default directory. So what we'll do is we'll make him the admin for this particular default directory. So to do that, we again need to go back and log in using our admin ID. And let's go to our Active Directory again. Let's click on users and let's click on Chris's ID. So let's assign Chris a role. So what we need to do is let's click on our assigned roles and let's make Chris the global administrator for this default directory. So let's again go back and click on add assignments and let's search for global. Now, of course, there are other roles that are available for you as well. So that's based on how you want to assign this particular user. For this particular example, I'll just make Chris the global administrator. Let's click on add and let's refresh this. So now Chris is the global administrator. So let's go back and log in using Chris's account now. So I log in using Chris's account now. So now if I try to access my Active Directory, I should be able to see all information there. So you can see that Chris is able to access the default directory. So let's click on users. And he's able to see all information regarding the default directory. Now, if you go back to the screen, you notice that Chris has just got access to the default directory, but he has absolutely no access to the subscription. So let's see what happens if you open the subscription page for Chris. And you can see that Chris currently has access to no subscription. So Chris here cannot create any resources. So if we try to create a virtual machine, so let's click on virtual machine again. And it states here that you do not have subscription to create any Azure resources. So what we need to do is we need to also give Chris access to the subscription. So again, let's go back to our main account. And what we need to do now is we need to go to the subscription page. So let's click on subscription and let's open our subscription. Now here is the important part. You have to go to your access control and you have to give Chris access to this particular subscription. So to do that, you can just click on your add role assignments here. Now before doing that, if you want to check which all users have access to this particular subscription, you can just click on view access to this resource. Let's click on this. And here you can see only the owner to this particular account has got access. So what we need to do is we need to again go back to our main page. Again, let's go to our IAM and let's click on add role assignment. And here what we need to do is we need to give, for this example, let's just give owner access to Chris. So let's click on owner. Now there are other roles that you can assign to Chris as well. So that's based on how you want to create your hierarchy for your organization. So let's make Chris the owner of this subscription as well. Let's click on next. And here, what you need to do is you need to assign access to a user group or service principal. So these other concepts we'll talk about in the upcoming chapter. So for the time being, we just need to give access to this particular user. So let's click on select member. And here you can see all the members that are associated with the Active Directory of this particular subscription. So there are two. So this particular user is already owner. So what we need to do is we need to make Chris the owner of this particular subscription. So let's click on select now. And let's click on review and assign. Again, let's click on review and assign. And now Chris has also become the owner of the subscription. So again, let's go back to the diagram again. So now Chris has been given two access. Now he's the global administrator of this default directory as well as the owner of this particular subscription. So let's again go back and log in using Chris. Now Chris has got access to create resources because he's been given access to that particular subscription. So again, if I go back to my subscription now Chris should be able to see this particular subscription. And Chris can now create any resource that he likes. So let's click on virtual machines. And Chris would be able to create any resource that he likes underneath this particular subscription. So that's it for this chapter. I hope this was useful. I will see you in the next.